I was standing in the office meeting room that day, and my boss said in front of everyone, "There's someone responsible for ruining this project, and it's you." At that moment, my head was spinning. I worked for a marketing company in New Jersey. I was new, but I worked very hard. My boss, Daniel, always spoke with a smile, but it didn't take me long to figure out what was going on inside. At first, everything was fine, but gradually I noticed he was presenting my ideas in the meeting under his own name. I didn't say anything, thinking it was just a coincidence. One day during lunch break, my colleague Emily said, "Did you know that Daniel told the CEO last week that he came up with the campaign idea himself?" I was surprised and said, "But that's me." Emily shrugged. "I know, everyone knows." From that day on, a fire burned inside me. But I didn't rush. I quietly started noticing everything. A few weeks later, a big project came up, a campaign for a major American brand. Daniel told me, "You do the research and the ideas, I'll talk to the client." I knew it was going to be the same game again, but this time I was ready. I started documenting every idea, every draft, every email, everything. I saved it on my personal drive with a timestamp. I even worked with screen recording turned on. Then came the day of the presentation. The CEO, the client, and the entire team were sitting in the meeting room. Daniel stood confidently and began the presentation. He started naming all my ideas one by one. I thought of this strategy. This concept is mine. My hands were shaking, but I was calm. As the presentation ended, the CEO said, "Great work, Daniel." Just then, I raised my hand. "Excuse me, can I add something?" The room suddenly fell silent. Daniel said, a little annoyed, "Now's not the time." I didn't stop. "Actually, this is the perfect time." I connected my laptop to the projector. I showed it on the screen. My documents, timestamps, emails, even screen recordings. I said, "I created every idea in this presentation. Here's the proof." A muffled murmur rose in the room. I played the video where I can see me creating the idea, and then Daniel opens the file and edits it under his own name. The CEO's face became serious. He looked at Daniel and said, "Is this true?" Daniel stammered, I was just refining." I said calmly, "No, not refining, stealing." The client was also sitting there with a stiff expression. One of them said, "We don't work with dishonest teams." The meeting ended there. The next morning, HR called me. I thought I might be the one to blame, but I never imagined what I would hear when I went in. HR said, "Thank you for coming forward. We've reviewed everything." Then they told me Daniel had been suspended and an investigation was underway. He lost his job within a week, but the real fun was yet to come. A few days later, he stopped me in the parking lot. His eyes no longer held the same confidence. He said slowly, "I'm sorry, I didn't think you'd go this far." I looked at him and said, "I didn't go this far. You brought yourself here." He stood there in silence. As I was walking away, he said one last time, "You ruined my career." I stopped, didn't look back. I just said, "No, you did it yourself. I just showed everyone the truth." That night, I went home feeling strangely at peace. No shouting, no arguing, just the truth and the evidence. The next month, I was made the lead on that project. The CEO himself came and said, "Good work, and more importantly, good integrity." I smiled and said, "Thank you." Sometimes revenge doesn't mean destroying someone. Revenge means bringing the truth to the surface in such a way that it collapses under its own weight. And that day, I learned, it's not always polite to remain silent. Sometimes it's unfair to yourself.